There we go. Cool.
I think we're live. You got to
All right.
double check the lives. Episode 1 of What is Really Brewing? Probably your morning if you're drinking coffee.
Hey, speaking of coffee, since everything is coffee related, what is really brewing? You see this? So, TJ McCormick is the world's greatest roofer.
Mhm.
I should probably the best effing contractor ever. I should probably build a hashtag or do it like a TikTok.
Yes, I don't do the hashtag. You're gonna have to ask him on that. I'm not the hashtag.
I'm doing hashtags on LinkedIn.
They work.
Well, I have 7,000 people that follow me on LinkedIn, but I've been hiding from it for the last 3 years.
Yeah, and LinkedIn is it's hard. There's a specific strategy for LinkedIn to.
Oh, I got the strategy, man. I got it. I just drop value bombs in there all day and bring a little bit more of a realistic approach to their kind of stiff upper class busy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dealing with all of the high executives through OEM manufacturers and showing them the real side of SaaS and fintech. It isn't stuffy, it's not boring, it's fun, but it's real. So I'm approaching it from a real different kind of angle than that whole LinkedIn stigma business. It's fun. I like it. I'm getting great. The data is skyrocketing. My engagement on LinkedIn is insane because I think it's different. I think it's not so stuffy. I'm bringing kind of who the fuck I am over to old white shirt, tie, blue collar, or white collar shit.
No, they're starving. They're starving for that over there. I got to redo mine.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, what's up, everybody? Episode 1 of What is Really Brewing podcast. Your host, Jordan Harrison, Chris Scoville of Blue Pages Pro, and all the other blue things. Whoa.
Are we host and co-host, or are we just two hosts?
Two hosts. What did I say?
No, I don't know. We never discussed. I mean, we just launched this podcast today. This is number 1.
This is why you take action.
I love it, man. I just do it
before your shit is ready. You take action before it's ready. Well, entrepreneurship is a hell of a journey. Yeah. Everyone has a different story. I felt like that people need to be heard in their story and their journey. And I was listening to Ed Milet in a Arete Facebook ad last night. He's like, dude, we don't have to do coaching, but we do it because people are lonely in the entrepreneurship journey. Yeah. So what better way than to help kind of bring together a community of entrepreneurs in all kinds of industries. This is not just about, contracting space, the marketing space, the SaaS space. We really want to have conversations with people in all industries, all walks of life, on what their entrepreneurship journey is, because that it doesn't matter what you're in, man. You took a chance on yourself to go out in the world and make a difference, provide better for your family, because that's the only way you're going to make more money. And me and Chris are new on that journey. Or actually, we're not new. We've been digging in it for a while. Yeah. So what better way to get it kicked off?
Let me make a point to that, bro. Jay Abraham, I've been studying him for years. He makes really good points about stepping outside of your industry to go learn from other industries and take those ideas back into your industry for whether it's sales, marketing, operations, process, system flows. Because taking something that you learn from the let's pick on people that sell furniture, right? So if you're a contractor and you don't know how to build up an offer, say hello to somebody in the morning, right? But you know that a furniture store, when you walk in, the first thing that the front person desk says is, "Hi, welcome to Chris Scoville's furniture store. What promotion brought you in today?" And they're like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" You're not going to say, "Hey, what am I looking for?" "What do you mean by promotion? You guys have promotions?" "Well, yeah, we've got some 5-year, blah, blah, blah." So learning something from the furniture sales industry and bringing it into your contracting business, if you're a roofer or something like that, right? You can learn how to approach a conversation and an offer better with a customer from another industry. So I love the fact that we're going to be bringing in professionals outside of the contracting space because, man, that's where I live, So
and it's funny you say that. I had a conversation with a not random, I won't get into the story, but somebody's using my ad account on TikTok. And we were talking, they're like, "What's your background?" I was like, "I was a teacher for 15 years. Like, really? So I was a band director. And so, like, I took everything I learned from like my master's in educational leadership, all that stuff, and brought it into the business side. So, because there's, believe it or not, being a band director, like there's a lot of similarities as being a business owner and being a CEO, because you have to manage all these, you're getting all these kids to come together for free. You're not even paying them. They have to have their own will to want to do good in band and be in band for whatever years. And then you strive them towards a goal. You teach them how to be leaders. You teach them leaders to how to teach other leaders. And we taught all that stuff. We just taught it to kids. And
dude, practicing, doing the reps, doing the reps, doing the reps, doing the reps.
I can't tell you how many times I looked at kids. I said, you're going to be doing stuff that's going to be boring. But when you listen to yourself at the end of the year, you're going to be like, holy crap.
Yeah, man.
Guys sound amazing. And I did amazing. And then the confidence that comes out of those kids, because let's face it, most band kids aren't the most confident people on the planet. But when they get done being in my band program, they have more confidence than you ever see. And that was the biggest thing that I got told as a teacher was what my kid has done and how confident they are now in themselves was more impactful than them making like all-state bands. So, I think taking those skills and putting it in the business world and the fact that just education in general, you have to do so much crap. And in general, just to function on a daily basis, and you get stuff done quick because you have to. You eat in 20 minutes, you eat in 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you take a bathroom break in less than 5 because you got to do it in between classes. You get it, right? So anyway, bringing that skill set in the teaching world back in the business world. Now, opening a business is one of the hardest damn things I've ever done.
Are you kidding? It's easy. Anybody can do it. It's fun. It's fun.
It is. I mean, the path was, and this is why we're here. We're here talking about everybody's journey, and I'm almost diving into mine first. I'm not letting Chris get a chance to talk. But no, like, so was it 3 years ago is when I started on it. That's the part. And some people won't ever see that. They'll think I kind of popped up. Like, nope, I've been doing it. I've been hacking at videos for 3 years now.
Or the idea's been in your head for a long time.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where like, I started during the pandemic, during COVID. And we, it was one of those things where people like I made decent money as a teacher. I wasn't bad. Steven Spence can attest to this. My money wasn't bad.
Hold on a second. You see me?
What?
This ain't fake. I just got teary-eyed. My wife, hold on a sec. This is not planned.
I thought it was gonna be a funny picture.
No, these are different tears, man. My wife just sent me a message. I just to show you guys how real and raw this podcast is. She just said, I can't believe I'm getting this emotional on our first podcast. She said, I love you and thank you for working so hard for us.
I love that.
Just sent me that just now, just 8:41, man. You want to talk about the entrepreneurial journey and what's really brewing, man? The shit's real, man. To have somebody support you, it's just unbelievable. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I had to.
No, that's what you want to hear. I get the same text or not text. I get those texts and those conversations. Because if she didn't believe in me, if my wife didn't believe in me, I would not be here right now.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You got to have a support system, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. I'm gonna do my best not to interrupt you.
I don't care. I'll interrupt you all day long. Poke you. But no, I don't even know what I was talking about. Pandemic, that's where it started. I built websites as a teacher. I learned how to do it. I've been doing videos since 2006, videos for teaching, did social media content for band programs. Literally, we raised, my last school I was at was in Podunk. Not Podunk. It's in a small country town called Locust Fork, and it's not Podunk by any means.
Be nice, man. People are listening to this.
No, and I apologize for those who will probably listen because I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook. It's not Podunk. It is. I still love that place. When we go up there, we have friends that are up there. And but anyways, it was such a small town. It's hard to get people to donate to the band. So we raised over a 3-year period, we raised like $50,000 and bought new instruments, all because I got on social media and started doing Facebook Live videos. And I just started showing kids, like every single marching band rehearsal at the end, I'd go live and I would just show people what we did at the end and we'd talk about the day. So my wife is calling me now. She forgot I'm doing my podcast right now. So I hope she's okay.
You got to put your thing on do not disturb. Bro.
I did, but she's the only one that doesn't disturb.
Me too. That's why my wife popped up.
Anyway, so long story short, when the pandemic hit, we didn't have a lot to do. And so I was building a part of my fence. And I was like, how do we make more? How can I help? How can I make more money? So anyways, I just went down the rabbit hole, found a Facebook ad, found a guy that was doing digital marketing and jumped in that group. And then it's been a bumpy path since. Like I started out, I was a lead gen bro. I was like, within a month, I was like, I don't want to do this because this doesn't work. And I ended up working for the marketing company for a year. And I learned how to do content and I learned how to do marketing really well. And then step back out. And then for 6 months now in business on my own again, second start, right? Failed the first time, back at it again. I just did.
You didn't fail. You didn't fail. You prepped yourself to win.
Yeah. So we did 6 months of content. I was like, I'm going to do content. I'm just going to hammer the market with content. And that is what she just sent me text. Forgot she had a podcast. Hammer the market with content and things that are super helpful and use my skills as an educator to teach. And that's what I did with that Facebook group too. Like we're just going to throw in free education and conversations. So anyways, that's where I'm at now. And what's funny is 6 months in, things are starting to I think revenue has jumped like 45%. If I look at the numbers in the past month.
Yep.
And that's amazing stuff. But 6 months of grinding out videos.
Years, bro. Years. You're just planting seeds and you're planting seeds and you're growing a farm, man. Like you're farming. It's like that's how I met you. I met you through your authenticity and your realness. And that's how we met. And I was like, oh, cool. This guy's really nice. You weren't selling anything. You weren't pitching anything. Dude, you were just dropping information in there. And that's how we started our friendship, man. Like you didn't ever try to sell me anything. I never tried to sell you anything. I just liked your approach to the marketplace. I mean, there's a lot of leeches. Dude, there's a lot of leeches out there that just, dude, they're like wolves and sheeps and wolves. Like, bro.
Wool and sheeps and wolves and sheep's clothing. I don't know.
Sheep's clothing, bro. Like they come into your world and they act like, yeah, man, let's be partners. And then they infiltrate your list and they build this credibility thing underneath you. Like you've third-party validated them. And then all of a sudden they're just leeching. And what? Like I knew that you never were. When you were like, hey, man, I want to come to RoofCon with you and stand there and help you guys sell for 3 days. And I don't want you to pay me. And I'm like, dude, I really need your help. Thank you. You know, like you were there, man. So like, it was awesome. I just see nothing but great things for us because of our realness and our authenticity and just the fact that we wake up every day and all we want to do is help people. And then in the interim, we'll make some money because, well, we're helping people make money and we need money to make money to give other people money. And it's just Akuma Matata, man. That makes the world go round. So,
Yep. And I just hired a media. It's been over a month now, but we brought on a media buyer who crushes it in the contracting space. Oh. And long story short, let me just say this: I had enough impact on her when I worked with her with another company that she left and called me immediately. It was like, "Can I come work for you?" And she is absolutely amazing. And the reason why is because
What's she doing again?
She runs all of our Facebook and Google ads, and she also is helping with the graphic design content too.
Oh, awesome!
So cool. As we build teams out, and it's like we had a team meeting. We started our first team meeting yesterday with just me and her, and I was like, "Look, I want you to do really great, and I want you to make the kind of money and do the things that you want to do." She goes, "I really want to show people about Google ads." I was like I want to show people so they understand what it is and that. And I was like, "Okay, cool." I said, "Do you want to do it in my Facebook group?" So you can get feedback and because she can do it for multiple verticals like real estate, all that stuff. I said, do you want to just let's get some feedback and let's show these people what it means. So I put it out there yesterday. We're in that group. We're going to start showing people how to understanding what Google Ads is, understanding like when to use them, what's the right time strategy. And we got other, badass marketers in there that can help facilitate, bring a conversation in there. Like it's not just about me. Like literally we've got the Mike Stearns in there. We've got Josh Crouch over Relentless Digital, who does amazing work on the HVAC side.
Nice.
I think Tim Brown's in there. So like we've got some amazing people that know what the hell they're doing, so we can bring a conversation and you can get educated on what.
Isn't it cool, all of the cross collaborative strategies that are taking place, instead of people like being like super competitive and putting their foot on people's throats nowadays? Like I've seen a lot of these SEO guys kind of team up and partner up, like, hey man, I can't take any more in this area to help them grow. Can you take them and let's compete against each other? It's like we've reached this milestone of, hey, I'm here to win, but you know what? I'm more importantly here to help my contractors and my customers win. So dude, let's team up and help these people. Like that's next level love. Like that's what's going to make this whole industry a better industry. And then those guys that are coming in here and acting like they care, they need to be just tossed out. And we know who they are. Because they try to do it every single day. The marketers that say they try to do marketing every single day.
Mm-hmm. This did steal stuff from others.
We know what you're doing. We still love you. Hey, we know what you're doing. We still love you, but we know what you're doing.
Well, before Chris dives into his stuff a little bit here too, because I want to make sure that everybody has the floor, and this podcast will never be about me or Chris.
Yeah,
we're just
doing an introduction so you know who the hell we are and kind of the format of this thing.
And and there's clout to the fact that we're entrepreneurs. I've got in, I've failed, I've gone back, I've learned my lessons, I figured out what I need to do, and then came back again. And so, like, I think that's important to note. That there's bumps in there. Everybody's got a different journey. I know some people that grow in the marketing space way faster than me, but I'm like, I don't want to, because my goal is I want to keep any client that I have, and I want to make sure that we're providing results. And if that means I go slower, I will go slower.
Yeah. It's a long game, Joe.
I don't care, because
I don't play golf, but the golf has got different dimensions to it. You have to show up. Then you got to hit the little white ball, and then it's a long ways away. And then there's like a mid-range, and then you got to get up onto the green, and you got to putt it in, right? Like you got to look at all the dimensions of your business and be able to play all dimensions of it and be willing to. You can't just show up and end up on the green a foot away and put it in. That's just not business. Like you got to show up, you got to practice swinging, you got to hit that little white ball, you got to hit it maybe straight, or sometimes you got to make it curve, and like it's a whole long game.
Yep. So the reason why, and I had this podcast, I think we pretty much both had this kind of podcast in mind for probably months now. Almost maybe a year. It's been almost a year since we've known each other.
Yep.
We didn't want it to be about the contracting space or the marketing. Like we wanted to try to do our best to stay away from that, but just talk about like experiences, like how do we lift each other up as entrepreneurs? It doesn't matter where the space is. And how do give people an opportunity to share their story? I don't care if you're making 10 million a year in a company. I don't care if you just started out and you're making like, $150,000 a year. Like everybody deserves the opportunity to talk about where they're on their journey. And we wanted to give a platform for people to do that. And when I started announcing and telling people about it, I literally had 5 people go, I would love to be on here. I want to be able to share mine. And so that's that's the initial part of this. Maybe it'll build into the great community. Who knows? Maybe it will just suck and go down in flames. And then we know that this is not the right podcast, but I really think it was great.
Dude, it's not going to go down in flames. We want to give people a place to tell and share their story to help other people. It doesn't matter, again, what industry you're in. I'm looking forward to actually interviewing a coffee shop owner.
Dude, I've got somebody in mind. Then
I want to talk about the coffee shop business, man. Like people are addicted to that shit. It doesn't matter how much you charge; they just keep coming back from out.
You know what? I'm going to reach out. So you speaking of coffee, okay? And this is a coffee podcast.
I need coffee.
There's a place in Mobile, Alabama. Okay, that's where I went down to school down there, called Carpe Diem Coffee. You can ship their coffee. I pay $20 a bag to have it. Like I'll go fancy on some things. I'll snip, but the coffee, I ship it up every month, and their owner of that business started out as a cashier, barista, and they roast their own beans. And then he learned how to roast everything. And he was a business major in the college down there. Finally asked the original owners, I would love to buy this and expand it and grow. Nice. And I was like, he would be a great person to like bring in and just talk about, like, you know, taking over something that was a staple in that community. Yeah. Right. And it's thrived. It put a Starbucks out of business.
Can I make a quick note? Before I forget, because you know how I roll. Can we put down not just entrepreneurs? Can we get some intrapreneurs, like people that worked within a company that have an entrepreneurial mind that's structured? Can we put that on our list and try to find some of those people? Because, dude, that struggle is real. And that's something that I can really talk about and share my story. Let's put that on the list. I'd like to find some other people that have had the struggles that I've had as a W-2 working professional for so many years and having that burning desire to be an entrepreneur, but then going, hey, what if I take the entrepreneurial mind and mindset and things I'm learning out here and I bring it into this W-2 company? Let's put that on the list as well. I think that might be very interesting to bring some people in and discuss that.
Somebody who I know who went into it and thrived on it was Dave Taggart, and I brought him on the other podcast I'd hosted.
What company did Dave work for? I mean, he worked inside of like W. Like
I think RKG. I think he was.
Yeah, but they're. I'm not saying just a roofer. I mean, like, they were a corporate job. They worked for freaking IBM.
Okay. Well, no, yeah, we go that route. Yeah.
Thinking about not like a roofer that turns into a roofer. I mean, we got to have Dave on. He's fire, but like, I'm talking about somebody that worked at a bank and came up with a very non-banking idea, but still had to work in the bank, and how they took that, and you know what I mean? Like,
no, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Yep. Nope. We need to do that on Walks of Life. So we'll put that out there. I'm going to create we're going to put this on Apple Podcasts. We'll put it, I'm going to put it on our YouTube channels. We're not going to create a separate YouTube.
We're just going to go viral.
We'll put it on the Blue Pages Hub YouTube, and we'll put it on the Presto Media YouTube channel. So I think we're going to host it on both, but we're going to put this thing on Apple. We just haven't done it yet because we wanted to take action first.
My mom's going to be so proud of me.
We're going to take action first.
So
anyways, awesome. That gives you an idea of the podcast. Share a little bit of my story and background. So it's time for Chris, who's been patiently waiting with his Blue Pages.
Dude, stop. My mom, bro, you just said my mom's listening to this. Be nice. So I was patiently waiting. I only interrupted you 6 times, but I asked for permission prior to interrupting you.
This is an adult show, by the way. We use adult language.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if we were swearing, if we were being clean, if this was for children, if kids need to learn not to go to college and go to trade school.
You know, and it's funny you say that. I pushed more kids before I left teaching. I was like, do you know what you want to do? No, I'm just going to go to community college.
Just stop. Write this down as another podcast. Come on. We're getting off track, bro.
Go. All right. It's all you, man.
I think the easiest way to sum this up is this. For anybody that doesn't know me, when I was a kid, I'd skateboard and I would BMX bike as fast to the store as possible to go look at a few different magazines because I'm all in. I'm passionate about what I do. So I loved skateboarding. I love BMX bikes. I love mountain biking. And I love snowboarding. And I loved Entrepreneur magazine. Like, that was my go-to. I skipped Playboy and all that stuff, and I went right to kind of those things like skateboarding, mountain biking, BMXing, snowboarding, right? And Entrepreneur magazine. So I'd buy these magazines, and when they weren't there, I'd get super upset because I always wanted the new magazine. It was like an adrenaline dump. And I was like a C student my entire life. But I would go and I'd get the Entrepreneur magazine, and I'd learn about franchising, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do this someday. I'm going to do this someday. It didn't hit me. I'm 52 years old, and it didn't hit me really till this year that I looked back at the emotions that I had when I went to the newsstand and the magazine stand on the effect when I bought that Entrepreneur magazine and I took it home and I'd read it every single page to learn to like how financing, you know what the number one financing was for years growing up? It was Subway, right? Like it was crazy watching Subway grow from a child. And I just knew deep down inside that I had the entrepreneurial spirit, but tucked it away and got comfortable in W-2 jobs up until last week when I retired from the bank. Like what? It was always inside of me, the passion, the yearning for wanting to build something and have the guts to do it. So it's been a long journey for me to actually, build the software company, the Blue Pages Pro, and then actually, take that leap of faith and leave. I'm just going to put it out there, leave a very comfortable $500,000 job, 500,000 a year, comfortableness, retirement, expense account, rated employee, senior vice president of the 6th largest bank in the United States of America. I had it, dude. I just was good, man. I could have rode that wave, retired in about 20 years, and maybe had $1 million in the bank account, right? Like I could have done that. I could have followed that path. Each year getting a little bit of a bump, trying to keep up with inflation. But, I had a dream, man. And I had a business plan that I wrote. Let me see if I got this here. Yeah. I went to the 10X thing, the Grant Cardone thing in Miami back in like 2017. And I saw Russell Brunson and Grant Cardone and a lot of people up on stage. I went out to lunch and I said, I can do this. If they can do it, I can do it. They're not better than I am. They're nice, they're human beings, but if they can do it, I can do it too. So I took the bar nap after I took my iced tea off and I flipped upside down and I started writing the business plan for the Blue Pages. And that's where the whole thing came from, was the back of a bar nap at lunch during a 10X event saying, if they can do it, I can do it too, which reminds me of the movie The Edge, right? If what one man can do, another man can do, right? One of my favorite movies, by the way. If you haven't ever checked that out, check it out. Because it's true. What one man can do, another man can do, right? So that's what kind of really got me to dive into building the software company with Alex. And then fast forward to a Apex event, right? So the Ryan Stewman and Billie Jean and Frank Kern, and I'm at this event and I lean over to this guy and I say, I'm going to be on stage in like 2 years. This is 2017. I said, I'm going to be on stage someday up there telling people the story and helping people, right? So fast forward in 2019 or 20, I'm at Profit Rocket with Victor Rancour out at Caesar's Little Caesars. Little Caesars.
The $5 gas station pizza.
I spoke, you guys ready? Here's Braggalicious. I spoke at Little Caesars. I was talking to a bunch of little kids about financing. No, I was up on the stage at Caesar's Palace with Grant Cardone. Talk about manifesting. Dude, I was on stage with Grant Cardone and Victor, all these great people that were there. Tommy Mello, he's freaking fire, and just so many good people. I'm on the same stage presenting to a couple hundred people, but there were a bunch of air conditioning contractors at the time talking about financing. And Grant Cardone's coming up next. Think about that. I was at an event in Miami. I thought of an idea. I wrote it down on the back of a bar nap. I kept doing my job. I kept building the company. Kept getting fired. I kept getting in trouble. and then years later, I've manifested the point that I said, I'm going to be on stage helping people. Now, am I a national speaker? No, because people like to just choose the same people over and over and over. I don't know why. It must be a dick measuring competition or something, or maybe people are sliding money on the table. I'm not exactly sure why the same people keep showing up on stage. However, it's okay. I'm fine getting my message out the way that I get my message out. It's just the fact that you can really bring something to life if you work hard enough and you manifest it and then you follow through. Anything can happen. So anyway, my journey's long. We'll be talking about it more. I left a very, very, very solid, plush corporate, been doing financing for 26 years, worked for 7 national banks in the United States of America. I was set. I was a rated employee and I went all in on my business. And, talking to people like John Bros and Tim Brown and Mike Claudio and Benny Fish and all these people, they're like, bro, you got something really good. When are you going all in? Like for years, when are you going all in? When are you going all in? I was when the time's right. When the time's right, man. Burn the boats, bro. No, it wasn't time to burn the boats. I'm conservative and I wanted to make sure that I had things in line, that I could build it after I left. Now, am I making $500,000 right now? No. But am I prepared to let God allow me to give grace and have grace and patience for the next year and a half or 2 years? Because I'm gonna work so hard. $500,000 is gonna be like it's gonna be. And for those of you listening, I just spit like a joke. Like $500,000 is like nothing. Like we're building a $1.2 billion exit strategy up on that wall. That's it. That's my goal is $1.2 billion exit in 5 years. And I know how I'm going to do it because I've got great partners. I've got a great business plan. And it's more than that landing page. It's way more than that. It's a community of helping people all win together. It's having the best partners that are going to come with us on the ride. It's about providing this amazing solution in a blue ocean strategy to the marketplace. It's way more than a landing page because that landing page is going to go out of style. Websites may go out of style. Things may go out of style. But what won't ever go out of style is the ability to really be vulnerable, help people grow, care about them, and make their businesses profitable. That's what will never, ever go out of style. AI is the new hot chick in high school. Everyone wants to bang her. But personal touch, communication, face-to-face, care, love, humanistic approach to life is what's going to last forever and ever, man. So I'm looking forward to doing this journey here with you, brother, and people outside of the industry. I feel like, we work with so many different contractors. Now I work all asset classes, right? Like I don't work just roofing. I have windows, doors, air conditioning, generators, concrete, fencing, hardscaping, landscaping. Like I work. People think, oh man, you do all the roofing financing. Like, no, dude, I'm financing anything that goes in and on and around it. Residential, commercial, business lending, merchant processing, mobile payments, investor. Like I did a presentation over on the West Coast last week to a bunch of investors. I'm up on stage talking about investment loans because I built the Blue Pro Capital Group within Blue Pages. So like, dude, I'm really looking forward to meeting some people outside of the industry. So that's a little bit about my journey. I'll get into more of it down the road, but just know that the biggest step that I've taken is sacking up and making the leap, but really structuring myself solidly in the business plan to make sure that it just wasn't me going, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go do this thing and not having systems and processes in place. Now, is it perfect? Hell no. I don't really care. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have the ability to pick up the phone, sell something, and help their business grow today without it being perfect. I don't give a shit. Perfect will happen down the road if it ever happens at all, but I really don't care. So anyway, that's a little bit about my story, man. I'm going to stick to it.
Nope, I agree. And it's interesting. People talk about, and I love Patrick Carr, and he's really good at bringing stories out of people. And I remember a lot of entrepreneurs either start, I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs start like with their back against the wall, or I had this problem, like I was in jail, or I had a drug addiction, and then I came out of that and I built this great thing,
Yeah.
And then, I'm like, well, I didn't really have a drug addiction, so never thrown in jail. I don't think I've ever had a speeding ticket. I just had a mediocre life. Like there's no story behind that. And I remember listening to Patrick Carr one day go, that is your story. Like to get out of the mindset of being an average, mediocre, like middle of the road. Parents tell you you can only do like you just need to do this one thing here. You can't do anything bigger than it. They didn't never really tell me that, but like it's kind of the mindset of to stay average and then get out of that to be better than that is the story. And that's a hard, sometimes that's a harder story. And then to me, you went the opposite way, right? You're good to go. And you're like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna be poor again for a while. So I'm gonna jump
down. Bro, I've been on a roller coaster for 52 years, man.
But I think that's the story, right? That's the story of itself is like sometimes getting stuck in the hamster wheel and trying to get out of that without going back into it is just as difficult as if your back's against the wall and you build something great because you don't know what it's like. I won't say I don't know what it's like back against the wall. I had to live with my sister for a year and my brother-in-law for like a year, not paying rent. to get out of like mountains of debt of things that happen down the road, right? And so it's one of those things where it's that part is just as important to tell that part of the story, because there may be somebody else sitting there in a job making okay money, has that same passion and doesn't want to leave because they're afraid to leave that security, and that's hard.
Yeah, well, we're gonna help a lot of people, man. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm glad we put this together because, like, listen, you're busy and I'm busy. I don't think that we really could have launched. I built that whole podcast show, which is really kind of cute. Maybe I'll revisit it someday. But dude, this with you and I, we're yin and yang. I'm old, you're young.
I'm not that young.
I lived all the hardship that you just mentioned, the drug addiction, the getting over the drug addiction, the losing everything in 2008, 2009, rebuilding it. Like, I did all the like really aggressive shit. That stuff where people are like, hey, look at me. Like, hey, look what happened here. Like, people are like, dude, how are you not curled up in a ball or on a cardboard box living underneath a bridge in LA asking people for nickels and dimes? Like, God gave me what he gave me because I was freaking strong enough to survive and then go help other people with the story, right? So I like the fact that you and I have this contrast that we'll be able to really approach conversations with people in the industry that come on here from a real different angle, So I'm pumped, man. I'm glad we did this because I'm too busy to do my own podcast, as you are as well with Presta Media. But now that we have this, we can hold each other accountable and really build this thing up to something that kind of is maybe a little bit different out there in the marketplace. So
yeah, and I hope so. So. And I say this because I hope people don't. Well, if you take offense, I don't really care, but you don't take offense to the fact that, like, no matter what your journey is, whether you started down the road of like the drug side or whatever, or the hardship side or the mediocre side, right? Because being trapped in your own mind of security is hard. Yeah. No matter what's one, they're both hard. Mm-hmm. They're all hard.
Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. And so I still struggle. Like, here's somebody asked me the other day, the biggest struggle right now is I'm actually growing and I'm trying to hire. I'm putting out less content, which I don't like. And I have kids. I'm coaching 2 T-ball teams. One just finished. And I'm like, I haven't been to the gym. And I'm like, I need to work out, but I don't. And so, like, that constant struggle of trying to balance everything or find harmony. Like, I've got to get my butt up to the gym, but when they're asleep, I'm back to working again. I was working till midnight last night. And because that's just the way it is, right? That's the life. What do you call it? The not series of life, the stage of life that I'm in at the moment. My kids are younger, so I'm spending a lot of time with them. If I didn't have kids or they were a little bit older, I'd be able to grow a little bit faster. But this time right now is more important.
Look how far you've come, man. You and I were just having a sandwich in Hoover,
Alabama.
We're in Hoover, Alabama.
Hoover
you're like, bro, I'm gonna start this business. All right, man, let's go. Figure it out. Let's go. I'll help you. Like, dude, look at where you're at now.
Yeah, look where we're both at.
Yeah.
Hoover, Alabama. You're like, this is a nicer part of Alabama. I didn't realize they had like buildings and stuff here. Yeah, we have more than Pittsburgh.
I liked Alabama. I wasn't in love with Mississippi.
Oh no, Mississippi is. Sorry for anybody listening from Mississippi, but
I was scared in Jackson.
Yeah, Mississippi's bad. It's not bad. Oxford.
Dude, you are saying horrible shit to this audience. Like, dude, you calling people podunk. Now you're picking on people that live in Mississippi. Why don't you just pick 49 states and call them all assholes?
Look, I used the wrong word with the podunk. I feel bad about the podunk. I really like that community.
Hey, it's Jordan and Chris, and we're now up in Vermont. The only state that we haven't fucking hurt someone's feelings, those fucking cheddar heads up there, those cow-loving motherfucking organic Birkenstock wearing motherfuckers. You're an asshole, Jordan. I never knew you were such a dick.
Well, Mississippi's terrible. Alabama's an amazing state. We have cities. It's actually Birmingham's becoming a tech city, believe it or not. Like the Shipt app, SHIPT, where you can deliver your groceries. Target bought it out like 3 years ago. I was at that launch party. I met the CFO of Target and had a conversation with him. And when they did buy it was really neat because I was shopping groceries at the time. And like, it's becoming a tech city. They're trying to build Birmingham into a tech city.
Cool.
And they're doing a lot of changes in downtown Birmingham. So that way people can think, oh, if you've never been to Alabama, we're not as crazy redneck as you think.
Now you're talking about redneck. Dude, we need to wrap this up.
Okay.
Let's just wrap this up before you put your freaking foot in your mouth one more time, bro.
No, shoot out. Hey, I'm from Alabama. I can call us rednecks if I want to, right?
Holy cow.
It's a great city. Look, it's one of the few states that has mountains in the top and beautiful beaches at the bottom. And then anywhere in between, you want to go out in the country and hike and woods. I think it's one of the few states that has it all, and that's why I love it. For me, well, and I'm from here, so anyway. Yep, let's wrap this thing up though, because I don't know how long we're going to really make this podcast. I'm thinking 30, 45 minutes. Who knows?
Yeah, no, we're going to keep this thing probably 27 minutes going forward. It's going to be shorter podcasts, very focused. We're not going to be doing the attention span of everybody's drops off at about 40. So we're right at 40 right now. So we're going to keep them short to the point and find out what's really brewing in people's lives that are in this entrepreneurial journey, man.
Yep. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it, brother. Thanks for putting this together and having me on here as your host, co-host, man. I'm looking forward to working with you again, as always.
It's going to be fun. We'll fancy the beginnings and the end as we go. Put some fancy intros and shit. Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe I'll even sing once in a while, grab the microphone and do a little intro outro.
Maybe I'll bring my trombone and play.
We'll figure it out, man. I don't give a shit. We got to do something a little different because everyone's got a podcast nowadays. We got to do something a little bit different, boo-boo.
Yeah. Ooh, another podcast.
I know. Tim's like, new podcast. Woo! And I'm like, what did he mean? Was that like a woohoo or was that a whoa?
Another one. Well, this one,
another podcast. Oh god!
As long as I'm doing it, it's not going to stop.
All right,
that's
brother.
all I can say is so.
All right, let's get out of here. Get back to work. I'm slammed.
Yes. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the first episode of What Is Really Brewing podcast. We're going to try to get this done weekly. If you are an entrepreneur listening and you feel like you have a great story you want to tell, or you just need to get it off your chest to help yourself get out of the loneliness feeling of an entrepreneur, reach out to me or Chris on DMs. We'll schedule that. Let's get your story out there. Guys, appreciate you tuning in. Had a lot tuning in this morning. Peace.